Most Worshipful Grand Master, Grand Lodge officers, visiting brethren, visiting dignitaries, family, ladies, gentlemen, thank you all for coming out for this wonderful ceremony today. I would love to have the lodge this full every single Tuesday night, but I'm not going to be unrealistic as the incoming master. For the first time visitors to a Masonic ceremony, I would like to doubly welcome you. There will be some ceremonies, parts of the ceremonies that you may not understand. If you have questions, please ask any of the installed officers questions. There are no secrets in Masonry. We would love to share our organization with all of you. There are two simple rules for today's service. And first is the raps of the gavel. So 3 raps, and this is demonstration. No, please do not do this. 3 raps means everybody stands. 1 rap sits everyone. Now you know all of the secrets of Freemasonry. Is everybody comfortable with those simple rules? There we go. You want me to go through them again? Okay. It's an open ceremony. Please feel free to take pictures. If a loved one or anyone you know that is being installed, please stop, take pictures. It's welcome. Feel free to move around. Feel free if you need to go use the restroom, to leave, come back in. Completely okay. The centerpieces from lunch today are live plants, and those are gifts. So please take them home with you if you'd like one. There's a little QR code on each one of the planters that explains the care of the plant and propagation of the plant. So very, very easy to pop those plants. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to silence their phones if you haven't already. I'll give everybody a second for that. I would now like to introduce the Tucson chapter of the York Rite Commandery for a flag presentation and Pledge of Allegiance. All yours. Color guard. Forward. Height. Call left. Height. Color guard. Halt. Left. Haste.
Worshipful Sir, Most Worshipful Grand Master, Grand Lodge officers, brothers, sisters, friends all. It is my pleasure to present to you the flag of our beloved country. It is in the east of every Masonic lodge. It is the constant inspiration to every lover of his country and every true knight of the cross. It demands unswerving loyalty and wholehearted devotion to the principles of which it is a glorious representative. Beneath its protecting folds, liberty, equality, and fraternity have been the heritage of every citizen, while the oppressed of many nations have found peace and happiness in the country for which it waves. The flags of mighty empires have come and gone, but the stars and stripes remain, alone above all flags, it expresses the sovereignty of the people which endures when all else passes away. Speaking with their voice, Stephen, speaking with their voice, it has the sanctity of revelation, that he who lives under it and is loyal to it is loyal to truth and justice everywhere. So long as it flies, the government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. Post colors. Command your hand salute. 2. Those of whom are citizens of the United States will join with me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commander, hand salute. 2. About face. Call them right, forward, march. Ladies and gentlemen, Arizona Commandery number 1.
Worshipful Brother Sid, thank you for that. I would now ask, well, let's get everybody up. I would like to introduce to everyone present, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the Most Worshipful Grand Master of Free and Accepted Masons of Arizona, Most Worshipful Brother Roger Biede III. Will all Masons in the room join me in saluting the Grand Master with public grand honors of 3 by 3.
You want me to do introductions real quick?
Sure.
Or you want me to do them later?
No, perfect.
Yeah, 'cause I'm kicking something. I apologize if this is your drink. It's mine. Somebody's drink. While we're still standing, I'm going to introduce the past Grand Masters that are attending with us, hopefully in order. In the very back, we have Most Worshipful John Miller, who was Grand Master of the Prince Hall of Arizona in 2011 and 2014. In the north of the lodge, in his wonderful turquoise polo, we have Most Worshipful Brother Craig Gross, who was Grand Master of Masons of Arizona in 2018. Okay, good. To my left, the Grand Secretary is Most Worshipful Brother Greg Vasquez, who was Grand Master of Masons in 2019. To my, was right. Oh, there he is, right here in the middle. Oh, I'm sorry, we'll go to Randy. I'm sorry, we'll go in order, I apologize. In 2020, Most Worshipful Brother, 21. In 2021, Most Worshipful Brother Randy Jager was Grand Master of Masons in Arizona. In 2022, Most Worshipful Brother Jim Baker over here in the north also was Grand Master of Masons in Arizona. And in 2024, the good-looking gentleman in the red bow tie back over there in the north was Most Worshipful Brother Michael Dale was Grand Master of Masons of Arizona. Would all Masons please join me in giving them public grand honors on me? And a big round of applause for all of them. And then right before we let everybody sit down, I'm going to introduce my Grand Lodge officers for 2026. Joining us today is Right Worshipful Brother Eric Dupree, who is the Deputy Grand Master. We have Worshipful Brother Jason Stryker, who is the Senior Grand Steward. Yes. We have Most Worshipful Brother Greg Vasquez, who is the Grand Secretary. We have Worshipful Brother Worshipful Brother Jim Burke, who is the District Deputy Grand Lecturer. We have Worshipful Brother Zachary Taylor, who is the District Deputy Grand Master. And Worshipful Brother Shorty is around here somewhere. I don't see him. He must be sitting down. There he is. He's he's our District Deputy Grand Master. A big round of applause for all of them. Okay, now I'm going to use the gavel. Please sit down and try to stay cool. Would any officers of Marion McDaniel Lodge number 52 that we are installing this evening please exit the lodge room and assemble in the front room? We're good? All right, here we go. Brother Marshal, are the officers of this lodge lately chosen, present, and ready to be installed in their respective offices?
They are without, awaiting your pleasure, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
We'll conduct them to the seats prepared for them. Okay, we're ready to go. Brother Chaplain.
Please all be in an attitude of prayer. Almighty and eternal God, we thank Thee for the many blessings Thou hast bestowed upon us. Bless those present here today, our families, our friends, and our neighbors. We thank Thee for watching over the officers of this lodge who have served it well during the past year. Father, we ask Thee once again to watch over those who will serve this lodge as its officers for the ensuing year, and especially the one who has been chosen to be its master. Give him wisdom and patience, that he may rule with justice, keeping in mind the welfare of his brethren. Amen.
So would it be.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, the officers of this lodge recently selected are present and ready to be installed in their respective offices.
You will present to me the brother that has been elected to discharge the important duties of master of this lodge.
Worshipful Master, I have the pleasure and great honor to introduce to you and present to you Worshipful Brother Scott Cheadle, who has been elected master of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year.
Are we taking pictures? Come on up here. Stand up here. Up here. Come on. Let's get some good pictures for social media.
Why not?
There we go.
Thank you.
It is known that Worshipful Brother Cheadle is well skilled in our ancient craft. Is he zealous in his regard to the interests of our order? Is he duly qualified to discharge the special duties of the Master's chair?
It is well known that he is all these, most worshipful Grand Master. This certificate vouching for his proficiency in the ritual of our order is evidence that he is well skilled in our ancient craft. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusting, and he is a lover of the fraternity. I doubt not that he will perform his duties with fidelity and with honor.
Thank you. Will you please have the Master-elect face the brethren? Brethren, you now behold before you Worshipful Brother Scott Cheadle, who has been duly elected to serve this lodge as Worshipful Master, and who is about to be installed. If any of you have any reasons to urge why he should not be installed, you will now make them known, or forever hold your peace. Give it an extra step or two? No? Okay, Worshipful Brother Cheadle, hearing no objection, I shall most cheerfully proceed to install you in the dignified and honorable position to which the suffrages of your brethren have called you, not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interests and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investiture, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the master of a lodge, and which on no account are ever to be neglected or departed from. They are as follows. You agree to be a good man and true, and strictly to obey the moral law. You agree to be a peaceable citizen, and cheerfully to conform to the laws of the country in which you reside. You promise not to be concerned in the plots and conspiracies against the government, but patiently to submit to the decisions of the Supreme Legislature. You would agree to pay proper respect to all civil magistrates, and to work diligently, live credibly, and act honorably by all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Masonry, and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate, according to their stations, and to submit to the awards and resolutions of your brethren when convened, in every case consistent with the constitutions of the order. You agree to avoid private piques and quarrels, and to guard against intemperance and excess. You agree to be cautious in carriage and behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren, and to discountenance impostors and all dissenters from the original plan of Masonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being, and to his officers when duly installed, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that is not subversive to the principles and groundworks of Masonry. You are to admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of men to make innovations in the body of Masonry, except as duly authorized by Grand Lodge. You promise a regular attendance on the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge on receiving proper notice, and to pay attention to all the duties of Masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge should be formed without the permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance should be given to any irregular lodges, or to any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the crown. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason or admitted a member of any regular lodge without previous notice and due inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitor shall be received into your lodge without due examination and producing proper vouchers of having them been initiated in a regular lodge. These are among the regulations of free and accepted Masons, and to these your assent must freely be given. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as masters have done in all ages before you?
I do, most worshipful.
Then, my brother, in consequence of this assurance, and with full confidence in your capacity and zeal, I will now install you worshipful master of Marion McDaniel Lodge number 52. Brother Marshal, you will now invest him with the jewel of his station. That, my brother, is the emblem of morality, and it is a special badge of the master's office. It should constantly remind you that not only by precept, but also by example, you should promote good morals among the brethren, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands, and I solemnly charge you to take good care of it, and that its luster not be dimmed through any action of yours. I now present to you the Book of Holy Writings. It is the great light in Masonry, and should ever be the great law of the brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth. It will direct you to eternal happiness, and an attentive regard to its divine precepts it contains will ensure your success in the fulfillment of your duties, which you now assume. The working tools of the crafts will next be given to you. As the master workman, you may instruct the craftsmen in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. The square teaches us
It's out there.
there it is, teaches us to regulate our every action and to let our conduct be governed by the principles of morality and virtue. The compasses teach us to limit our desires in every station and never to suffer our passions or our prejudice to become the masters of our judgment. The rule directs the undeviating discharge of our duties, that we should press forward in the straight path of right and truth without inclining to one hand or the other. In all our doings, have eternity in view. The plumb line is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissimulation and to pursue that honest and upright course in life which will tend to our elevation in the higher realms of immortality. There are still other important things which you will receive in charge. The Book of Constitutions. Will you grab that for him, please?
No.
Everybody take a 20-minute break. We'll come back in 20 minutes. Okay. This Book of Constitutions you are expected to diligently search, and from time to time to cause its contents to be read in lodge, that none may remain ignorant of its precepts. It enjoins or the ordinance which it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of our lodge, which it will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually executed. And this charter, which everybody will give me a second. Do you want to move the camera over here as I sign the charter this afternoon?
Did you use 3 pens like the president?
2 pens. Can we have them just hold the charter just for a second?
Sure,
You get a picture?
put that weight on it.
Right, Worshipful Eric? Or,
No. Oh, okay.
yeah, we're gonna let him hold it.
I wanted to hold up.
That's fine. Master.
There you go.
And this charter, under the authority of which your lodge is held, in which you are carefully to preserve and duly transmit to your successor in the Master's share. Brother Spomer.
Worshipful Master, the Grand Master has presented to you the charges and the working tools of a Master Mason and the Master of his lodge. I have placed these in your hands as a symbol of the weight of the duties and responsibilities you have taken and placed upon your honored shoulders to lead this lodge in its future in an honorable and desirable manner. Look well to the order and the release, my brother.
You will now be seated. You gonna take him around, or you gonna seat him right up here?
Get around there, yeah, let's take him around.
Give him the walk. Give him the walk. He's left the building.
No. It's a new charter. We still have ours.
Brother Marshal, you will present the senior warden-elect.
Can we object now?
Well, Worshipful Grand Master, it's my pleasure to present to you Worshipful Brother Michael Braven. Who has been elected on this lodge to be a senior warden during the Masonic year, during this Masonic year.
I absolutely need to see his certificate. We have bets on it.
Verify the signature.
Do you have any other ID?
Nope.
Worshipful Master,
This is what he presented?
this certificate is evidence that he is well skilled in her ancient craft. He has the confidence and love of his members.
It's up to you, boss.
Is the bet satisfied?
Yes.
Worship Brother Braven, you've been duly elected senior warden of this lodge, and I will now invest you with the distinctive badge of this honorable station. The level is the jewel of your office. It teaches us that we are descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, and share the same hope. It reminds us that while distinctions, I forgot, you know what, we're installing him as junior warden. I've just demoted him. Well skilled in our ancient craft, he knows his jewels.
Yes, he does.
It was the next one in line, so.
It reminds us that while distinctions among men are necessary for the orderly government of our society and our fraternity, no rank or title, station should ever cause us to forget that we are brethren. For he who occupies the humblest place in life may richly be deserving of our respect. And the day surely will come that none can say how soon when all our earthly distinctions, save of goodness and virtue, shall cease, and death, the mighty leveler of all mankind, will reduce us to the same common state. May this beautiful ending continually remind you to govern with fairness, humility, and compassion, treating every brother with equal kindness and respect, encouraging unity, strengthening harmony, and preserving the bonds of brotherly love that unite us as one family. Your regular attendance upon the stated communications of this lodge is essential to its success. In the absence of the worshipful master, it becomes your duty to govern the lodge with wisdom, firmness, and impartiality. In his presence, you are to assist him faithfully in the government of lodge, supporting his vision, strengthening his labors, and ensuring that the work of the craft is conducted with dignity, order, and excellence. The office you now hold is one of great honor and even greater responsibility. It calls for steady leadership, sound judgment, and unwavering fidelity to the principles of Freemasonry. By your example, the brethren will find confidence. Through your counsel, the worshipful master will find strength. And by your faithful service, this lodge will continue to prosper. Confident in your knowledge of our ancient craft, your devotion to this lodge, and your commitment to its welfare, I have every assurance that you will discharge the duties of this important trust with ability, fidelity, and zeal. Worshipful Brother Senior Warden, look well to the west. Brother installing Marshal, you now present the junior warden-elect.
Worshipful Master, most worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Brother Russell Long, who has been elected junior warden of this lodge for the 207th year. And I think I have something here. This certificate vouching for his proficiency in the ritual order is evidence that he is well skilled in the ancient craft.
This one I have no doubt of. Brother Long, you've been elected junior warden of this lodge, and I will now invest you the jewel of your high office. The plum is a jewel of your station that admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations before God and man, and to hold the scale of justice in equal balance, to observe the proper medium between labor and refreshment, and to govern our passions and prejudices so they may ever coincide with the line of our duty. It reminds us that the true character is measured not by rank or reputation, but by the integrity with which we conduct ourselves each day. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. This responsibility extends beyond providing the comfort of the brethren, but it is your duty to promote harmony, fellowship, and moderation among them, ensuring that refreshment remains a source of renewed strength and brotherly affection, never of intemperance or excess. By your watchful care, the bonds of friendship are strengthened, and the peace and unity of the lodge are preserved. As one of the principal officers of this lodge, you are called to lead by example. Let your conduct be marked by fairness, humility, discretion, and sound judgment. Encourage civility in all things. Support the worshipful master in his labors, and inspire the brethren through your steady example of upright living. Your regular and punctual attendance is earnestly expected, for much of the harmony and success of this lodge depends on the faithful performance of your duties. I have every confidence that you will discharge this trust reposed in you with fidelity, diligence, and zeal. Brother Junior Warden, look well to the south. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present the brother that's been elected treasurer for the ensuing year.
Worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Worshipful Brother Pat Zeck, who has been elected treasurer of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year.
Worshipful Brother Pat Zeck, you've been elected treasurer of this lodge, and I will now invest you with the jewel of your office.
I don't need the jewel, I have the money.
You have money? All right. The keys forming the jewel of your station are rich in symbolism. They are instruments to bind as well as make loose, to make fast as well to open. They remind us that the resources entrusted to your care are not your own, but belong to the brethren of this lodge, and must always be managed with wisdom, prudence, and unwavering integrity. I am confident that these keys will never be used by you except in the strict accordance with the Constitution, laws, and regulations of this Grand Lodge and the will of this lodge. It is your duty to receive all monies from the secretary, keep a just, true, and accurate account thereof. Pay the same out only by order of the worshipful master and with the consent of the lodge. In the faithful performance of these duties, you safeguard not only the financial well-being of the lodge, but also the confidence and trust of every brother who has placed his resources in your care. The office of the treasurer is one of stewardship rather than possession. It calls for honesty beyond question, sound judgment in every transaction, and careful accountability in every record. By your diligence and fidelity, the lodge is enabled to carry forward its labors, support its charitable works, preserve its property, and fulfill its obligations with honor. May these keys remind you that the greatest treasure entrusted to your keeping is not measured in coin, but in the confidence of your brethren. Guard that trust faithfully. Administer your office with fairness and transparency, and let your stewardship reflect the highest principles of Freemasonry. Believing that you will discharge the duties of your office with integrity, accuracy, and zeal. We already invested in jewel.
Too late,
You have your jewel.
I've got the money.
Okay. You will now repair to your proper place. Brother Installing Marshal, you will now present the secretary-elect. Thank you, most worshipful.
Worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Worshipful Brother Tim Jager, who has been elected secretary of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year.
Worshipful Brother Jager, you have been elected secretary of this lodge, and I will now invest you with the badge of your office. In presenting you with this jewel of your station, the cross pens, I am confident they will be employed in the faithful service of this lodge, preserving not only an accurate record of its proceedings, but also a lasting account of its history, traditions, and accomplishments. Through your diligence, the laborers of today will become the legacy of tomorrow. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful master, and to keep a true record of all things proper to be written, to transmit such reports and communications to the Grand Lodge as may be required, to receive all monies paid by the brethren, to promptly deliver the same to the treasurer, taking his receipt therefore, and to maintain the books, records, and correspondence of the lodge with accuracy, discretion, and care. The office you hold is one of the most essential to the successful operation of the lodge. The efficiency of its administration, the preservation of its history, and the continuity of its work depend greatly on your faithfulness. Your records will serve not only the brethren of today, but those of generations to come, providing an enduring account of the work and character of this lodge. May these pens ever remind you that every word should be recorded, reflect truth, every account should be kept with integrity, and every communication should strengthen the harmony and good order of our fraternity. Believing that you will discharge the duties of your office, fidelity, and accuracy, I now ask you to repair to your station. to your proper place. Brother installing Marshal, you will now present our worthy chaplain for installation. Thank you, Most Worshipful.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Brother Dan Tulo, who has been appointed chaplain of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year.
Thank you. Reverend and Worshipful Brother Tulo, the Holy Book, which is guide and foundation of your sacred calling, is likewise the great light in Masonry. Its divine truths illuminate every lawful assemblage of free and accepted Masons, directing our steps, strengthening our faith, and reminding us of our obligations to God and to one another. From its life-giving precepts, continue to instruct and inspire us. Invoke upon our labors the blessings of the Almighty God, whose infinite and wisdom, mercy, and goodness are so richly revealed in its sacred pages. By its lessons of truth, justice, charity, and hope, encourage us to walk uprightly before God and man, and you will have faithfully discharged the sacred duties of your office. It is your privilege and responsibility to lead us in the solemn devotions which should ever accompany the labors of Freemasons. Through your prayers and words of encouragement, may our thoughts be elevated, our virtues strengthened, and our hearts united in humility and gratitude. May your example remind us that the finest work of the craft is accomplished only when our labors are guided by faith and dedicated to the service of our Creator and our fellow man. Yours is the office that calls upon us to look beyond the material and the temporary, directing our minds towards the eternal truths that inspire every good and noble purpose. As one whose sacred vocation is to comfort, encourage, and lead others towards greater light, may your service continually remind us that the true temple we are building is not made with hands, but is established within our hearts and lives. It is therefore most fitting that an emblem of the sacred volume should be the jewel of your office. With this jewel, I now invest you, trusting that you will continue to perform your sacred duties with reverence, wisdom, compassion, and unwavering fidelity. You will now repair to your proper place. Brother installing Marshal, you shall now present the brother who's been appointed to replace you.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Brother Greg Farrell, who has been appointed Marshal of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year.
Brother Farrell, you've been appointed Marshal of this lodge, and I will now present you with the jewel and symbol of your office. In just a second. Hold tight.
Looks good on you.
Do you have a baton by chance, Worship Brother?
Oh,
Perfect. This baton is an emblem of authority and orderly command. It is a fitting symbol of the responsibilities entrusted to your care. Under the direction of the Worshipful Master, you will take charge of all processions of this lodge and assist in the proper arrangement and movement of the officers and brethren during ceremonies. Through your leadership, with the dignity, harmony, and solemnity of the ritual are preserved. The faithful discharge of your office requires preparation, attention to detail, and a calm, steady example. Much of the beauty and effectiveness of our ceremonial work depends upon the precision with which your duties are performed. By your efforts, every brother is guided to his proper place. Every procession moves with purpose. And every ceremony reflects the order and excellence that have long distinguished our fraternity. May the baton remind you that the true authority is exercised not through command alone, but through service, leadership, and example. Carry it with confidence, Perform your duties with care and dignity, and let your conduct inspire others to uphold the high standards of this lodge. Believing that you will discharge the duties of your office with fidelity, ability, and zeal, I now ask you to repair to your proper place. Brother installing Marshal, you will now present the brethren who have been appointed to serve this lodge as senior and junior deacons.
Most worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Brother Paul Howell, who has been elected or appointed senior deacon, and Brother Kyle Davis, who has been appointed junior deacon of this lodge in this ensuing Masonic year.
Brothers Howell and Davis, you've been appointed deacons of this lodge, and I will now present to you the jewels of your office. These jewels signify that it is your privilege and duty to attend upon the worshipful master and warden, acting as their trusted messengers and representatives in the active labors of this lodge. Yours is an office of service, precision and constant readiness, requiring attentiveness, discretion, and a thorough knowledge of our ceremonies. Brother Senior Deacon, it will be your special duty to bear the orders of the worshipful master in the east to the senior warden in the west, and elsewhere about the lodge as required. You will attend to all alarms at the door of the preparation room, receive and conduct candidates through the ceremonies of initiation, and welcome and accommodate visiting brethren. For many, you will be the first guiding hand they will encounter on their journey in Freemasonry. Your conduct should therefore reflect the patience, dignity, and brotherly kindness that are the hallmarks of our institution. Brother Junior Deacon, it shall be your duty to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior warden in the south and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. You will attend to all alarms of the door of the outer door. You will attend to all alarms at the outer door and ensure that the lodge is at all times duly tiled, preserving the security, harmony, and order of our assemblies. These rods, the distinctive emblems of your office, are now entrusted to your care. They remind us that the deacons are ever active in the service of the lodge, faithfully connecting to its officers, assisting its members, and ensuring that its work proceeds with dignity, order, and precision. Believing that your past deportment among the brethren, that you will discharge these important duties with ability, fidelity, and zeal. You will now repair to your respective places.
It's on. What do they see? I'm gonna just-
Your secretary?
I can't pick this one.
Brother installing Marshal, you will now present the brethren that have been appointed to serve as stewards for the ensuing year.
Worshipful Master, most worshipful Grand Master, it's my pleasure to present to you worshipful Brother Dave Wilson, who has been appointed senior steward, and and Brother Sam Talby, who has been appointed junior steward of this lodge, ensuing Masonic year.
Thank you. Brothers Wilson and Talby, you have been appointed stewards of this lodge, and I will now instruct you with the duties of your office. In ancient times, it was your province to superintend the festivals of the crown, to assist in the collection of dues and subscriptions, to account for the expenses of refreshment, and to ensure that every brother was suitably provided for. Your office was one of hospitality, careful attention, and cheerful service, contributing greatly to the harmony and fellowship that have always distinguished our fraternity. While the custom of our lodges have evolved and provisions of refreshment is no longer the principal duty of your office, the spirit of that responsibility remains unchanged. Today, you are entrusted with preparing candidates in their first step in Freemasonry, assisting the officers in the orderly conduct of our ceremonies, and performing these duties which Masonic custom has assigned to you on days of procession and public occasions. Through your service, you help create an atmosphere of dignity, order, and brotherly welcome, ensuring that every candidate and every brother experience the warmest and fellowship of our crowd. The office of the steward reminds us that no act of service is too small when performed with sincerity and devotion. It teaches us that true leadership often begins with a willing heart, a helping hand, and a quiet commitment to the success of others. Receive now the jewels of your office. Together with the white rods,
No, these are
the ancient emblem of your station, may you carry them with pride, discharge your duties with diligence, and continue to serve this lodge with humility, courtesy, and fidelity. You will now repair to your respective places. Now, the part I'm looking forward to, brother installing Marshal. Will you present to me the brother that's been appointed Tyler of this lodge?
Oh, there he is. Come here. Come here, Davey. Most worshipful Grand Master, my pleasure to present to you Davy Jones, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge for the ensuing assignment year.
Brother Jones, you've been appointed Tyler of this lodge. And I will now present to you the jewel and implement. Henry, could you please uninvest the Tyler? You've been relieved of your duties.
Henry.
I will now have your jewel invested properly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
There's more. We need to give your dad more. Please present him his implement of his office. Thank you. The sword is entrusted to the Tyler that he may faithfully guard the entrance of the lodge, protecting it from the approach of cowens and eavesdroppers, and permitting none to pass or repass except those who are duly qualified and properly entitled to do so. Yours is a position of vigilance, fidelity, and trust, for upon your watchfulness rests the security, privacy, and dignity of our assemblies. Yet the summum of your office extends far beyond the door of the lodge. As you faithfully guard the outer entrance, so should each of us guard the inner temple of our own hearts and minds. Let the sword remind us to set a guard over our thoughts, a watch upon our lips, and a faithful sentinel over our actions, and that every unworthy thought, word, and deed may be kept at bay. By doing so, we preserve the conscience void of offense towards God and our fellow man, and exemplify the moral discipline that lies at the heart of Freemasonry. Brother Tyler, You may discharge the duties with steadfast discretion and honor. You will now repair to your place. Marshal Master, will you please stand? Okay. Marshal Master, I congratulate you on your ascension to this time-honored seat. The duties incumbent upon you in the exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend on the skill and diligence with which you manage its concerns, and that the happiness of its members may be greatly promoted in the proportion to the watchful care with which you cherish the genuine principles of our institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider the great luminary of nature, which, rising in the east, regularly diffuses light and luster to all within its circle. In like manner, it is your province to spread and communicate light and instruct the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of masonry, and seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which they have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct to convince mankind of the goodness of this institution, so that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrows, one to whom distress may prefer its suit, one whose hand is guided by justice, and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by a diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the constitutions of masonry, and, above all, the Holy Scriptures, which are given as a rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to acquit yourself with the highest honors here, and lay up a crown of rejoicing, which shall continue when time shall be no more. Brother junior and senior wardens, please rise. You are too well acquainted with the principles of masonry to warrant any distrust that you will be found wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice it to say, what you have seen praiseworthy in others, you should carefully imitate, and what in them may appear defective, you yourselves should avoid. You should be examples of discretion and propriety, for it is only by a due regard of our laws and regulations, as shown in your own conduct, that you can expect obedience to them from others. You are diligently to assist the master in the discharge of his trust, diffusing light and imparting knowledge to all of whom he shall place under your care. In the absence of the master, you will succeed to higher duties. Your accoutrements must therefore be such as will ensure proper instruction to the craft. From the spirit which you have hitherto evinced, I entertain no doubt that your future conduct will be such as will merit the applause of your brethren and testimony of good conscience. Brethren of Mary McDaniel Lodge number 52, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some must of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers who have been chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the authority with which they have been entrusted. And you are too generous dispositions to envy their performance. I therefore trust that you have but one aim, to please each other and ignite and unite in the grand design of promoting happiness. Finally, my brethren, as this occasion has been formed and perfected in such unanimity and concord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction, delight which disinterested friendship can afford. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as Masons. Within your peaceful walls, may your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual reoccurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may the tenets of our profession be transmitted through this lodge, pure and unimpaired, from generation to generation. Worshipful Master, it now remains me to present to you the gavel, the emblem of your power. In the hands of the Master, it may be made an instrument of great good or of greater evil. With it, the Master governs his lodge and welfare and prosperity of your lodge. In great measure, depends upon its judicious use. In your hands, I am confident it will be welded with the best interests of the brethren. Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your Master. Brother installing Marshal, will you make the proclamation?
By direction of the most worshipful Grand Master of Free and Accepted Masons of Arizona, and by the order of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Arizona, I proclaim the officers of Mary McDaniel Lodge number 52 duly installed.
Thank you everyone for coming today, and I promise the AC is on. I know it's warm in here, and I promise to make this short. I thought I'd get a round of applause for that. I am very humbled and honored to be in the East. This lodge that has been formed from Oasis 52 and Mary McDaniel 56 is strong, and it's an exciting time. The future is so bright. It's overwhelming. So thank you for giving me the honor. Brother Theodore Roosevelt, and for those unaware, yes, that Theodore Roosevelt was a Mason, once said that the only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. And I think that's true for the lodge. The future of this lodge, we're going to try so many different things. And we're going to do so many different wonderful paths as we move forward. And there's going to be mistakes. But what I can promise you today is that when those little mishaps happen, we'll learn from them, we'll grow from them, and we'll be better Masons and a better lodge when it's all said and done. Thank you for listening. I would like to thank my installing team. Most worshipful brother Roger, thank you. Most worshipful brother Randy, it was a pleasure to have you as installing chaplain. And worshipful brother Henry, thank you for being our installing marshal. I would like to just do a few quick introductions. Would any visiting master please stand in their place? Thank you for being here today. The past masters in the room, I am not going to have you stand, but I appreciate every one of you being here. Are there any visiting dignitaries from other Masonic bodies present today? No? Okay. Then that is all I have on my table. I know it's warm. I'm going to let the Grand Master say a few words. Immediately following his remarks, the Job's daughters will be doing a closing cross. If you've not seen that before, it's really a beautiful ceremony. And then we can exit into hopefully a cooler dining room and socialize a little more today. So, thank you again, Most Worshipful Biede.
You know what, Worshipful, this is your lodge, this is your day. Why don't we just continue? I'm looking forward to watching the Job's daughters, and let's get out of here.
Fair enough. Thank you. Job's daughters, you have the floor.
Cookies and drinks are still out. Yeah.
Blue only? Blue only?
Scott, cookies and drinks are still out. When someone Tuesday, you're up to later. Big Biede. City made this message. No, they're getting worked up here.
If we're getting ready for music.
I thought I had a few more moments, I'm sorry. Sorry, ladies.
Feel free, everyone, to retire. There's cookies and refreshments out in the dining room, so thank you.
Masons, stay seated.
The Freemasons in the room, would you please stay so we can close Grand Lodge? Thank you all.